Now introducing Camp Roger and Camp Scotty's new video series, Operation Bring Light.
What's up, everyone? Hope you're all doing so well during this very weird, very crazy time. I've been asked to share a story with you all, so I picked one of my favorite camp stories, which a lot of you have probably heard, but it never gets old. This story is about the Trids. So for those of you that don't know, the Trids were alive a very, very long time ago. They lived between two very huge mountains in this very beautiful, very green, luscious valley. Now the Trids are a little smaller than your average person. By a little smaller, I mean they're about like a foot tall. So they small, but they live in life great. They lived between, like I said, two very giant mountains, and because of that, every time it would rain, all the water would run down the mountains, and it created this very lush, very bountiful valley of just everything you could ever want. There was a stream running through it, everything was green, everything was great for the Trids. Now, one day, a rabbi came and, he was passing through and he decided to stay with the Trids. And the Trids were very welcoming people, so they invited him to stay with them. And the rabbi stayed and just hung out for a very long time, honestly. And one day, the Trids are, doing their thing, they do in their life, just out in the fields, doing what Trids do. And they were like, man, it's a warm one today, guys. It is hot. Where are the clouds? And they looked and they looked over at one mountain and it's blue over there. And then they looked over at the other mountain and, well, what is that? And they looked, and up on that mountain, way up at the top, there was a giant holding the clouds, just chilling up there, holding the clouds back. And, well, they were like, well, that's weird, odd, and strange, but they went about their day. It wasn't really affecting him. And then days passed, and then weeks passed, and their crops started to die. They started to run a little low on food. They realized that this was a bit of a problem. So they gathered all the elder Trids together, all the wise old Trids, and they thought, what should we do? What should we do? The Trids stroked their beards, but they were short beards because, they were small people. But, they were a little longer than you would expect. And they thought, what should we do about this giant? And they said, we'll send our strongest Trids up. And we'll force them off the mountain because they're our strongest Trids. So their strongest Trids put on their backpacks, put some food in their backpacks, and they hiked up that mountain. They got up pretty quick because they buffed, they strong. And they got up and they looked at that giant. They put their voices down a little bit and they said, Mr. Giant, if you do not let go of those clouds, we will beat you up. And the giant held those clouds and he looked at them and he said, ha, ha, ha. And poof, he booted them. Woo! Right off the mountain. Now the Trids down below, they're feeling happy. They're feeling good about how everything's going until they hear, ah! And they look up and they see the strong Trids just, ah! And they woo onto the other side and they disappear beyond the other mountain. Well, now the Trids are getting a little concerned, honestly, because, well, their strongest Trids are gone, just booted. So the elders gathered together again. They're like, who should we send? Who should we send? We'll send our smartest Trids. That's who we will send. So, smartest Trids, they get ready to go. They grab the backpack, grab some food, grab the books, because they're going to do a little research on this giant before they get up. And they get up and they gather around and they go, yes, we have an idea. And they walk up to the giant and they go, Mr. Giant, you've been holding those clouds for a very long time. Aren't your arms getting a little tired? Maybe you want to let go of those clouds. And the giant, he looks at him, he thinks for a second, and he laughs, ha ha ha, and he poof, boots those Trids. Oh, and the poor Trids at the bottom, they see, poof. Well, now the Trids are getting a little worried because they're running very low on food. They've lost their strongest Trids. They've lost their smartest Trids. And they're getting a little desperate. So the elders gather together. And they next send the teachers. Well, the teachers. Woo! Poof, done. Okay, who else should we send? They send the blacksmiths. Woo! Poof. My goodness. They're really running low on people. They send lawyers to just try to outthink them. Kicked. They just keep getting kicked and kicked. Group after group of Trids. Every group that goes up with less and less food, because during this whole time, the Trids, they are starting to run very low on food. Very, very low. Very last, the group of elders, Trids, goes up to the top. It takes them a while. They are older. Oh man, they are having a struggle to get up to the top. But they get up to the top, and they look at the giant. They go, oh, Mr. Giant, please, just let go of the clouds. And the giant, he has no heart. He has no sympathy. Boom, boots them. Woo! Poof, off to the other side. Now, the very last person to watch that was the rabbi, and he watched as his last group of Trid friends gets booted across the other side of the mountain. And he looks around. There's nothing. Everything is dead. There is no water. It hasn't rained in months. And he has no one. Even the mice have gone. There's no food. He doesn't get a backpack. He doesn't get anything. He has nothing. And he walks up that mountain thinking, and he realizes, well, at least I could be with my friends, the Trids. So he walks up that mountain very slowly. He trudges up. He gets to the top and he says, Mr. Giant, Mr. Giant, you've booted all my friends across this mountain. Please, just kick me and let me be with my friends. And the giant, he's holding those clouds. And he looks at the rabbi. And he goes, ha ha, silly rabbi. Kicks her for Trids. Thanks for joining me. I hope you laughed a little bit. Thank you all for joining in to Camp's thing. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. And we look forward to seeing all of you soon. Bye.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching and tuning in today to Operation Bring Light. Remember to like, subscribe, and follow along for more video on our YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Thanks, see you next time.